Business Lab.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of The Business Lab, sponsored by our venue partner, Crowd by 3, and of course our media musicians, Studio 5 Corp. Today, I have a guest, none other than the founder of Pondok Abang. And I'm very excited because today we're going to focus on expansion, we're going to focus on positioning your brand internationally, right? And today I have none other than Hasan Abdul Rahman, the founder of Pondok Abang. Hi Hasan.
Hi, Abu Sofian. Actually, I'm not the founder. My parents are the founder.
MashaAllah. Okay, so we're going to find out a lot more about Hasan, his parents, and their story. So I hope this will be a lot of value for you, right? So Hasan Abdul Rahman, he's from a young age. He immersed himself in the family business. He learned the intricacies of sustenance. After national service, he transitioned into a leadership role, and he received training from his parents, where he saw the hawker stall and the food manufacturing operations part of it, and then he assumed the ownership. He transformed it into a corporate entity with a mission. This is interesting because his leadership resulted in establishment of HFM, overseeing successful ventures like Pondok Abang and Straits Butchering Co. Today, Hasan Abdul Rahman's business journey continues with regionalization achievements, exporting to Vietnam and establishing Pondok Abang Sendirian Berhad in Malaysia. Great milestones. It's such an amazing story, Hasan.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. I wanted to, of course, zoom it back to our roots, right? You mentioned this. It's not your company, or it wasn't founded by you, but it was founded by your parents. Maybe share with us a little bit. How did it go from your parents starting the company and then you expanding it?
Alright, so my dad basically started the company from a back of a motorcycle. It was back in late 70s, early 80s. He was selling Indian curry puff
Okay.
at the back of his motorcycle every afternoon after his main employment. So he did that for more than 10 years until he finally decided to set up his own shop where he sold mee rebus, mee soto, the usual Malay dishes. Then somewhere in the 80s, he set up a rojak stall in Jurong West. So people started to call him Abang Rojak. Abang Rojak. So I think in the 80s, early 80s, it was quite difficult to get like halal rojak because it's mainly, a Chinese dish. So he did that for a few years until he went over to Clementi. He shifted to Clementi in 1990. Then he sold mee rebus, mee soto again, nasi lemak pandan and stuff. So he did that for a couple of years. So he basically expanded also.
Okay.
He had 2 stalls, 3 stalls, and the last one actually he opened up one family restaurant in Changi Village. So he wanted to have the kind of kampung vibe. So he renamed from Abang Muslim Food to Pondok Abang. So back in 2007, Pondok Abang was born.
MashaAllah.
Yeah. And 2008, there was an opportunity for him to actually purchase a food factory. So he decided to let go of the Pondok Abang at Changi Village, bought the factory, and that factory became a central kitchen to supply to his own outlet. So he realized after moving into the central kitchen that apart from supplying to his own outlet, he is able to also supply other people's outlet. So he wanted to supply to other people's outlet, but people told him, hey, look, I got my own recipes, I've got my own ways of doing it, so I can't accept your dishes.
Okay.
So then he thought, okay, why not instead of selling cooked dishes, I sell ready to cook products. So that is where our first product was born, which is our paru rebus.
Paru rebus?
Yes, paru rebus. So we started to supply to other to businesses, and also we supplied to our first retail partner, which is M Frozen, located at Geylang Serai Market. Yeah.
Wow. So it started from the paru rebus.
Paru rebus for our product.
Do you still have the paru rebus now?
Yes, it is our core product, and
Yes.
we are happy to say that we are the largest beef lung producer in Singapore actually.
The largest beef rendang producer.
We produce at least 1 ton a day.
Subhanallah, 1 ton a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
1 ton of paru.
Wow, mashallah. So is that something that you've preserved the recipe? Just curious about that.
Yes, we preserved that recipe. At the same time, moving forward from there, we realized that we need to have more products. And in 2012, we initially wanted to develop paste.
Okay.
But we know that we couldn't compete with the Malaysian in terms of cost. So my parents said, why not we throw in some meat? So instead of paste, it becomes ready to eat dishes, right? So we developed ready to eat dishes. It took us 2 years for the R&D. So 2014, we managed to actually launch a few of our ready to eat dishes.
Yeah.
And subsequently, right now we have a few SKUs of ready to eat dishes, ready to cook products, ranging from like raw all the way to fully cooked.
Wow, amazing. I remember I was telling you before this, right? I went below my blog and I saw, hey, Pondok Abang products. It was like the rendang and the chickens. So it's amazing. I'm very curious because you mentioned you did a lot of development and growth, right, for the company. And I also understand you do a lot of digitalization, systemization. So you kind of enhance the business a lot more from where your parents took it. Tell us more about your digitalization journey.
Yep. So when I came into the picture,
Yeah.
after my NS 2011,
Okay.
I was told to assist them in the hawker stall.
You're told to assist them.
Told to assist them.
Okay.
So I gladly assist them at the hawker stall for about 3 years
I see.
until 2015. So I learned the ropes of managing a small outfit there. So Alhamdulillah. So 2014, I was sent to the central kitchen. So I took a look. Then I told my parents, why not you teach me how to cook? Because I mean they are aging, and as the only son, seeing them like having to cook large batches and stuff, so felt like kalau anak lelaki tak boleh tolong macam tak guna kan. So I told my mom, you teach me how to cook, I will cook for you.
Okay.
So I started learning how to cook and stuff.
Wow.
While cooking in the kitchen, then I realized, actually this business can go far, more products can be, developed, and we can basically expand even beyond Singapore if you want to. So then I started to go, into doing sales work.
Yeah.
Then I started to do business development. So we were initially delivering like 3 locations, 5 locations with a van per day. Now we are delivering a few hundred lah. Alhamdulillah, in a week, even thousands. So in order for me to achieve this,
Yes.
definitely I need to change a certain aspect of the business, the structure. So previously we were doing everything ourselves. So morning I came, I cook. After I cook, I have to write invoice. After I have to write invoice, I have to go do the delivery. So I had to change all this lah, from like a hawker style to a proper company. So, and when the business was expanding, I was writing a lot of invoices sampai tangan nak putus kan. Tulis sampai ink habis, and start having to remember the customer, the products and everything. So one way or another, we need to digitalize the business.
Yeah.
So certain, stuff of the business like accounting was digitalized, online invoicing and stuff. And also the business itself, in 2018, I had the opportunity to actually join Singtel's 99-cent promotion something to set up a website.
Yeah.
So I was introduced by SMCCI's SME Center about this program. So I mean, $1, why not, right? Try. So I joined the program.
Yeah.
Went over to Singtel. They taught us how to set up a website, which I did. But given a lot of tasks that I was handling, I couldn't manage the website lah.
So many things. Yeah.
So I got one of a website developer to actually create that website for me and turn it into an e-commerce platform. So I was actually very grateful because initially after we have digitalized the business, so the work processes got easier for me and the team. But when it comes down to generating revenues, right, at least from this e-commerce platform, was almost close to nothing. But because we have already digitalized, when COVID came, it saved us. It saved us because through this having an online platform meant that people who couldn't go out to shop can actually purchase it online. So we suddenly see 5-digit figure of revenue just from the e-commerce platform.
Wow.
Yeah. And because of the efficiency in terms of work processes,
Yeah.
we were able to start our automation project back in 2019. And we brought in machineries from Italy, from Japan, from Germany. So it basically increased our output capabilities from less than 1 ton to 2 tons in a shift.
MashaAllah. That's amazing. And would you say it's not possible without the digitalization?
Yes, because digitalization is always the first part. Because there's no point for you to automate if you do not have the volume, right? So digitalizing actually assisted us in improving our efficiency. So once there's efficiency, business grows, then we started to automate. So it's the key.
Wow, amazing. Is this also part of the key for your expansion growth? Because you're in Vietnam, you're in Malaysia.
Yeah. So definitely, because once we have this additional output, we need to have the market to sell, right? So that's where we actually exploit markets to export.
Yeah.
So before COVID, we were actually exploring to export to Malaysia.
Okay.
And we were in the process of incorporating a company there, which has been successfully incorporated, Pondok Abang Sdn Bhd. And we also formed a joint venture company there in Malaysia called Heritage Food Sdn Bhd with our local partner. The intention was actually to export from Singapore to Malaysia, because we truck in every week from Malaysia to Singapore. Whenever the truck leaves Singapore, it leaves empty. So our mindset was coming in full, going back must be
Empty.
It must not be empty lah. We must fill it. So there's business
see.
to and fro.
Right. Both sides so efficient.
Correct. But because of regulatory issues, then we decide it's a bit too slow for us to start our business there. So that's why we incorporated a business there with the hopes of actually manufacturing in Malaysia and having the products move northwards lah. And Vietnam was actually accidental.
Okay, tell us more about that.
Because I sent my team over to a event
Okay.
talking about exporting to China.
Okay.
Then when the team was presenting about our products, one of the participants there actually came to my team and said, "Hey, I'm already exporting to Vietnam. I want to bring these products over to Vietnam." So we started to discuss further, and Alhamdulillah, even during COVID 2021, we exported to Vietnam.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah. But it was more of a, like a test for us, where it's a trial for us to see our capabilities to export. Whether with all these digitalization efforts, automation effort, can we actually really export? So Alhamdulillah, we exported there. We exported things that not so like how to say, I would say unique lah.
Okay.
We exported buns, but
Okay.
usually the Vietnamese would consume steamed buns, but we exported fried buns.
Fried. Okay.
We even exported fried durian buns. So it was interesting. The idea was that the ability for the Muslim expats or even Muslim tourists to actually when they go to Shopee, they can easily procure this kind of goods lah. Because from my own experience when I was in Vietnam, it's not, I mean, you can get halal food, but it's not like everywhere and
Not
easily accessible. And I was in Hanoi, it was even much more worse lah. But Ho Chi Minh, at least there's Bentan market where but every time go Bentan market also sian, right? So yeah lah.
Wow, I love how you've really taken it by the reins and you just push through with technology. What kind of mindset do you have when you thought about the digitalization and the automation and even expansion? What led you to that in the first place?
Actually, it's a very good question, because why at times also I also do not know, to be honest. But I think it's just the drive to me, number one is the drive to ensure sustainability for my parents. Because my parents actually, been working for so long. So I made it my mission to ensure that they are able to retire and retire comfortably. So in order for them to, retire comfortably, I must be successful lah, as much as possible, so that I can provide for them without them having to worry lah. So Alhamdulillah, now they've been retired since about 2016 onwards.
MashaAllah.
So exactly as what I want them to do, to spend time with my kids, to spend time going to religious classes, to go out whenever they feel wanting to go out. Because previously you know, running a business, it's like a nightmare, right? So, like even as a kid, the reason why I did not want to take over was because when I was a kid, like 7 years old, I had to follow them to the shop, waking up like 4 plus 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow, that was like super terrible, lah, right? Then having to collect plates after people have eaten their food, having to cut chili, you know, cut tempeh, cut tahu, Fridays,
How old were
Friday,
you when you did this?
7 onwards. Like free labor, right? But no, my dad gives me a bit of money also, $5, $10.
Okay.
Yeah,
But it seems like from that early age, he was really kind of planting the seed in you,
yeah.
you know, to start to learn about entrepreneurship. That it's messy, that it's difficult work.
Yeah. So I remember, like, you know, in the morning, early in the morning, later I'll be in the van, like, wow, sleepy, having to follow. Then he would tell me, Hassan, don't forget, the most important thing is you have to put in your intention. Inamal a'malu binniyat. This one he has been telling me every single time when I'm in the van, following them to the shop lah.
Wow.
So, you know, as we all know that Rasulullah said,
Salam.
everything is based on intention and Allah will give us based on our intention, right? So this is the values lah that I have brought over even up until now that I share with all my employees. Number one is our intention. Number two is knowledge, because we can't do things without knowledge. Even the Quran, the first ayat is Iqra. Then finally, it's about the benefits. The benefit for our consumers, for our partners, for ourselves, for our families, the stakeholders basically. Because we have to remember, Umar arsalnaka ila rahmatal lil alamin. Rasulullah was sent to us as a mercy to everyone, to all mankind. Therefore, we must emulate him. We must be of benefit to others. If not, there's no point.
It's so beautiful. Like, so from the intention, you planting the seed, and then having knowledge, because acting out without knowledge is dangerous. And then lastly, of course, benefiting people. The best of you are those who are most beneficial to others. That's so beautiful. And I like how you've made it into your culture in your company as well.
Alhamdulillah, I'm thankful to definitely to my parents for their continuous support even up until now. They are still advising me. Yep, and even recently we launched our second outlet at 1J Clooney Botanic Garden. They even made the effort to come down to talk to the team there,
Right.
to advise the team how to improve further.
Okay. Which part of Botanic Gardens was that?
This is at 1J Clooney Road, Raffles Building.
Okay.
The name of the place is Sprouts Food Place. So it is an air conditioned. I don't know. It's not a restaurant, but it's like a how to say, like an eatery. It's like a hawker stall, but no, it's air conditioned with proper thick cushion chairs. So you can get like, you know, good food, good prices, because the tea, the coffee, TO is like only 60 cents.
Okay.
Tea is 80 cents. So we sold food. We are selling food there also at reasonable price given the location lah.
I see.
Just right opposite Nasim.
I'm very interested to know if someone out there was listening to you, they want to think about expansion. What would be your advice to them?
Okay, so one thing that I've learned and what COVID actually taught me is that sometimes we look too far. Sometimes we need to be aware of what's near us, things that we can actually grab. Like before COVID, I thought that the market in Singapore is just too small, saturated, too many competitors. I need to go overseas to find a larger market. But when, you know, COVID happened, we can't go overseas, right? So our focus was redirected to Singapore. Then we realized, hey, actually, there's much more room for us to grow. Yeah. So, and you know, going overseas meant that you need to use a lot of your resources, right? Especially financial resources. So we do not want to be in a situation whereby, you know, we fall into a trap or into a mistake that could cause a lot of financial, you know, strain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So always try to stop, take a step back and review. Actually review. So that's what we did lah. So 2019 to 2022, that was what we did. And Alhamdulillah, so previously we were just like supplying to like Fair Price, but now we are already in Giant. Now we are in Sheng Siong. We are supplying to more hotels. So if there was no COVID, this might not be possible, right? Because COVID kind of stopped us. Because before that, our mindset was already blocked, saying that, hey, Singapore no more.
Saturated.
Yeah, correct. You're right. So yeah.
So you're saying most entrepreneurs tend to wanna, hey, let's just go overseas.
Yeah, because we want shortcut, right? Because we want to expand quickly. We want to be successful quickly. But the thing is, there's no such thing as a shortcut, right?
I love that because I think that's a very common mistake. A lot of people do. Like, I speak to certain entrepreneurs as well. They're like, hey, I just want to expand to Malaysia. Ask why? You just want to expand. So you're saying that make that model in Singapore work first.
Yes, correct, exactly. If you have what to say, if you have a very strong foundation, right? When whatever happens to you outside, you will always be able to come back to your foundation, which is still strong, right? So we must ensure that our position in Singapore is super strong. That if there's even a tsunami that comes to and hit our foundation, nothing would happen. We would never drop.
MashaAllah. That's amazing. And I think that a lot of us tend to do the shortcut. You're right. How about those who have probably already expanded? What are the future challenges that you foresee when it comes to expansion? What do you think?
I think, because I'm from the food manufacturing background, what I can say is that the challenge in food security lah, specifically, right? Because like if we are seeing like countries like, for instance, if we look into Indonesia, they are a rice producing country, but they don't even have enough rice, right? So similarly, like other countries, so the countries are becoming much more protectionist when it comes down to their resources. So they are controlling. That will mean that prices will increase down the road, and that it's very important for us to have multiple sources of avenues of sources lah, like what Singapore government is doing, SFA specifically. So for instance, previously, before 2018, before 2019, for instance, for us, the only place that we can import beef lung was from Australia and New Zealand. And majority comes from Australia.
Yeah.
So then the Australians told me when I want to procure, right? I say, okay, I want a 20-footer beef lung. Then they would tell me, okay, Hasan, this is the price. I say, why is it so expensive? Can you reduce the price? No, this is the price that I'm going to sell you, because this is the price that Indonesia or China is willing to pay. If you want to buy, buy. If you don't want to buy, that's it. Bye-bye. So bye, bye-bye, that kind of thing. So, but Alhamdulillah, through feedbacks and, and communication. So finally, they open up new sources. So now we are importing from elsewhere. And those people are much more, how to say, they are much more willing when it comes down to building a partnership,
Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, these are all the challenges that I see. And also, with recent, things that are going on around the world, we are seeing the increased prices of like oil, water, electricity. So moving forward, we really need to look into, improving our sustainability efforts also.
I see.
You spend a bit more in order to, reduce your cost in the long term.
Spend a little bit more, but you reduce cost in long term. That's amazing. That's like a first cost, least cost. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Hasan, for such an insightful conversation. I think we got a lot of gems from there. Thank you to our venue partner, venue sponsor, Crowd by 3, and our media musicians, Studio 5 Corp. Catch us SMCCI on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us on YouTube and listen to us on Spotify. We'll catch you for the next episode, inshallah. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.